Good morning, everyone. How we doing today? Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. Yep, it's me. So, hey, today's your daily financial news for November 11th, or as Alibaba would say, Singles Day. A couple of quick things. I am a little bit under the weather, so maybe not have the same kind of energy. But even when you don't feel good, you still got to see what's going on in the market. I'm still dedicated to getting you these daily financial videos. So just know that this is a real commitment. We're talking about money, investing, consumers, real estate investing. This is not going to morph into a channel that is after clickbait and going on for 8 to 12 minutes and saying nothing, even if it's highly entertaining, nothing. I want to be a little bit better every day, and I'm hoping you can be just a little bit better every day. So as I look at November 11th, first let's stop, give a moment of thanks to our veterans. Today is Veterans Day. Both of my parents served, so mom in the Navy, dad in the Marine Corps. Thank you for your service. I'm really glad two teenagers bumped into each other, if you will, way back when in North Carolina. So thank you for your service, mom and dad. To all you viewers who are watching that are veterans, thank you. If you know a veteran, send them a text, give them a call, send them an email. Socially distance, of course. But let's do right by our veterans. And again, thank you, thank you, thank you. So when you look at the daily financial news, again, a couple of things that jump out at me. First and foremost is the power of the Chinese government. And I'm referring to their swift and very aggressive kind of takedown of the power of wealth in China. Jack Ma was growing increasingly wealthy, and he was increasingly kind of rubbing up against the Communist Party, and they said that's enough. So they took their $35 billion Ant IPO off the table last minute, and now have come in and aggressively are going after the e-commerce engines of China, which includes Alibaba, Tencent, JD.com. If you ever want to see a difference between a capitalist and a communist system, there is your example. The communist system doesn't really have a rule of law. They make up their mind and go. And you saw that with these companies down 10% in a single trading day. And of course, Ant Group not going public. We'll see if that happens. So again, if there's any thought about one of the differences, just look at that. As I go forward, I'd be remiss if I didn't remind you to go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I got to, Graham Stephan says it helps the algorithm, so I trust him. A couple million subscribers. And if you like talking about money, investing, and getting a little better every day, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I consume 60 to 90 minutes of material a morning, and I share that with you here. So if you like that, go ahead and subscribe, but be warned, don't be annoyed. I create 3 to 5 videos a day, all original, with the aim of helping you. So don't be annoyed if you get a couple of notifications every day. Next up, I want to acknowledge that Monday again was a great day. Kind of has a thumbnail of me going like this, but realize we still have to get through winter. We are going to see some pretty negative headlines. For those of you that maybe hoped this would go away after the election, it's not. Record case counts, pretty scary things you're reading about hospitals being overrun, which is what we were told what would happen in March and April. Now it seems to be happening in places other than New York. So we've got to get through this together. It does get better. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm generally positive. But as I've said for months, Q4 is going to be painful. I'll probably do a video later today if I have the energy to talk about what I mean by getting ready, surviving so you can thriving. We've got to get through Q4 so that we can enjoy 2021. I really do believe that 2021 could be great. I've heard a couple people calling this next decade perhaps the roaring 20s, which boy, wouldn't that be great? So, but we still got to get through this period. Don't let down your guard, save, do your homework as I talk about. If you're one of my students still, this is the time to do it. One little piece of advice for anybody watching, watch listings. We have been calling for listings to increase for quite a while. I have a sneaky suspicion that we may see listings increase in November and December. I'm seeing early signs in my market, But that's something to watch. So do yourself a favor and look for that. Mortgage applications to purchase are still up year on year, but it's decreasing. Historically speaking, it was up 16% year on year, which is still amazing given we're way into November. But it was down 3% week on week. So that is interesting. So again, something to watch. Again, I think it's winter. I think we are going to go into at least a consumer-based lockdown. I'm not calling for physical lockdowns, but I think consumers are going to retreat and get more insular. So we will see. We do have the Fed coming out and basically just poking Congress to do something. We have one coming out talking about 6 months of pain. We have another coming out saying that a double dip recession is not off the table if Congress doesn't do their job. So all the same stuff we've been talking about. If you watch these daily videos, it's kind of happening. It's interesting to watch. Wells Fargo came out and said time to buy the banks, which I thought was interesting as they are a bank. Talk about talking your own book. But basically, they're calling it the reopening play. The banks are going to do well. You know, the 10-year Treasury is getting darn close to 1%, so they can start making money. But we shall see. And then finally, way back when we talked about, are the banks over reserving? Remember that? You probably had to watch this channel for 100 days to remember that video, but I did highlight that one of the things that they could be doing now is over reserving. And for the first time, I heard it this morning that there's general talk that some of the banks, not all of them, may have over reserved. And when they reverse that, they will see a good quarter because of that. Mark Cuban, I like reading about his kind of take on things. He's talking about the next generation, which is obviously a passion of mine. I believe financial intelligence, financial conversations needs to happen. I am developing that really inexpensive course to facilitate that. But Mark Cuban talked about the ultimate skill for kids that he would try to teach. He talked about his 10 and 14-year-old is a joy of lifelong learning. And what he talked about was really the difference between Generation X, which he and I are both in, and his kids. And that is his kids, you couldn't get them to read a book. And when we were growing up, reading the book was the thing. Now it's YouTube and things of that nature. And he's been very impressed with what his kids can absorb. Specifically, he gave an example of his young son. But anyways, I think that's a good thing. We need to realize that the next generation is hungry and thirsty for knowledge, but maybe they're not going to learn the same way you and I did. And let's not judge them for that. Let's provide them a platform so they can learn and encourage lifelong learning, especially about money. Again, I don't really think I learned about money as growing up. I know I missed that with my daughter. I've freely admitted that. So we've got to think about money, investing, spending, all of that. These are passions of mine. I'm trying to solve it. Look forward to your ideas and help with that, but that is very important. Next up, I don't know if you saw this, but Apple just released a bunch of, kind of refreshed their PC line. And really the key there is they're using their own chipset and Intel is out. Intel's had a pretty rough year and I don't expect it to get much better for the short term. They are they're not careful. They could go the way of, legacy HP and IBM, where they're just dinosaurs, just trudging along. So we shall see. And then the last thing to talk about, again, I believe something that will happen after the crisis is passed is kind of the whole retail and consumer experience will change. Chipotle is showing us a way that it may possibly change. They have opened their first digital only, I don't know, storefront, I guess. No lines, no dining rooms, all of that stuff. It's in New York. It's in the Highlands. Forgive me, I don't know New York. I don't know where the Highlands are. But again, it's 100% digital, no dining area, and no line to order. You got to do everything on your phone. Again, I think these are things that are going to be very key in the future. I think this crisis has accelerated things, and we just got to figure out where they are. So the question of the day for you, I'd love to hear from you. I'm sensing listings are expanding in my market. It's early days, so I could be wrong, but I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below if you've seen listings increase. Listings are the first thing we're going to see. If the market slows down or maybe gets more balanced, it will be listings that come back. So be interested to hear. Let's see what people say. And do me a favor, you're going to answer that question. Just leave the market you're in so I don't have to guess. If you want to tell me the city, great. If you just want to tell me the state, good enough. I'm just trying to get a feel for what's going on. So let me know, city and state below. Do you see listings growing? Have a wonderful day. And don't forget, today's Wednesday. So that means we talk to Anna Kelly here in about 15 minutes. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.